fucking hell. Steph Infection. We got the biggest get I've ever gotten on this podcast. Bill Burr.
I didn't know that. I thought you got big guests on this. Now I'm wasting my time.
No, you know what?
I was trying to get something out of this podcast.
Yeah, you're going to get 3 fans from me. Can you imagine? No, I've had some people, but you're by far the biggest.
All right.
You came in your leather jacket. You're all dolled up for the podcast.
Well, you know what? I had to make videos to announce some dates that I was doing and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm trying to like step it up a little bit.
You're trying to step it up, yeah, because you know what, your career's failing. So I would like
sliding into 70. You know, years of age. I just figured that.
Yeah.
Get a dad leather jacket.
It is a very dad. When there's pockets on the front, very dad. Pockets on the side are cool. Front pockets are like old.
No,
man.
I feel like because I have a leather jacket like that, and then you just say I was trying too hard. What it is here, it's called dressing your age. Okay, I have a nice purple. Like I should have a pipe.
You should. Have a pipe.
I should.
And the little what are the watches that come out? The like little pocket ones that flip out.
It's not the 1800s.
Well, it could be. You could do. I think you would suit a monocle.
A monocle?
Yeah, you should try it.
Can you buy a monocle without a top hat?
I don't know. It's connected. I think there's no way. You can't go in there like it must.
I'll go out there for Halloween. A robber baron. I owe you people nothing. I owe the public nothing. Who was that?
I don't know.
There was
references
Andrew Carnegie or Carnegie. If you're in Pittsburgh.
Well, we're not in Pittsburgh anymore. Is that your good side? I put you on that side. I don't know. Do men have a good side? Do you notice?
No.
You don't care?
It's not about our looks. It's about the wallet. How fat is your wallet? And they better not be singles. Or she'll smell. Women can smell singles.
Can they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then I'm having sex with the wrong man because I'm paying for things, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm not checking their wallet. I'm checking.
And how are you handling your position of power? Do you feel like you abuse it? Are you going to be the first female comic to get Me Too'd?
Honestly, maybe. Fingers crossed. No, no, I do have a bit right now where I say I got worried about Me Tooing because I kept fingering guys' butts without asking. And okay, I'm glad that Bill's laughing at this.
Well, wait a minute. Were you just going like that?
I was going in.
No, but I mean,
we all liked it. Do you like butt stuff?
But you started to like. You didn't sort of gradually.
No, because a couple guys just automatically liked it. So as we were fooling around, I'd just go back there and be like, "Oopsies, here we go." And then one guy was like, "No," and he got really upset, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I had to take it out.
There's always asking first.
No. I've realized that now. Yeah, we're no longer. We're no longer going in for the kill. I say that I was like a third base coach. I was like, go home. Like I was really shoving it up his ass. Like I was really sports reference. See, that's for you. Good. My only sports reference I have. Yeah.
You were that third baseman that wasn't. You was sending everyone home.
I was sending them home, and
also you didn't go like this. You went. It was all.
It was more of a thumb. That's too much. I'm not scooping out their anus. We're putting just a light thumb. You did the scoop. I did the thumb.
I was trying to imitate you. I'm not good at impersonation. Okay,
you are
where are we? 3 minutes into this podcast. Jesus Christ!
You said yes to this.
I showed up in my dad wear. Well, you didn't. I said yes to this like a month ago, and then last night you text. Oh, by the way, we talk about a bunch of weird body shit. See you tomorrow. That's what you did.
I did do that.
You did do that. Are you comfortable with that?
I didn't even ask if you're comfortable with it. I don't think I said. You talked about. We don't have to go. I'm not going to ask.
No, I don't. I'll be honest with you. Like I am a little prudish when it comes to talking about sex on stage.
No, this not. I know you're.
I don't. It's like my Catholic upbringing, and then also when I started in stand-up, like if you did shit like that, you immediately got branded a bodily fluid comedian, and your career was you were going to be doing stand-up in bars. And
look where we are now.
And look, so no, so I and then also, there's just certain things. Like I try to stay away from crowd work. Anything that I felt was just like easy laughs. Like I noticed early on with like.
So my entire personality on stage. So everything I say and do on stage, easy laughs. I am.
No. But you have to understand. I came up and everything was very defined. Mm-hmm. It was very defined. Like if you even moved on stage, you were selling your shit too hard. I've talked about this on the podcast. Like guitar acts, fuck them. Prop acts, fuck them. You do a character, fuck you. It was just everything. It was you just had to fucking stand there and do your shit. It was really dumb. And then I remember just me and my friends would be like, well, what about all of these other guys that we grew up with? All of our whole generation grew up watching. We used to watch Gallagher.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that guy had more props than fucking anybody, and we loved him.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden, like, it just became like like anything. there became like a formula to it. So no, I'm not saying it's bad. I love your act.
No, well, I know, and thank you so much. You've literally single-handedly changed my career. I don't think you realize that.
I think
you did.
I just went like, hey, you guys might want to see this, and they were like, oh my god. So I can point the light at anybody, but you got to deliver, and you did. Look at you. You don't like that? You see that? Look at that was shy, cute Steph. She looked down. Oh shucks. I felt like a proud comedy father.
Well, you were, and it's like I said this to you before, and I don't think you realize that you getting me on Netflix. Literally, people were like, oh yeah, I guess she is funny. And then now I'm like touring and headlining and doing a bunch of shit, and you put me in your stuff, and I'm very excited. When does Old Dads come out? I'm very excited
Old
about
Dads, I don't know that I'm allowed to say.
Okay, but soon.
Yes, Netflix gets really like,
And we will tell you when it comes out, and you will post all this stuff. We have the algorithm. We are in all the countries.
See, you're good at accents.
We did what the Führer could not do. Took over the streaming world.
They did, and now, but I'm pumped. No, but this pod is not just about, not sex. It's about body stuff in general.
it's not just about fisting people without asking.
We got into that way too quickly. It's definitely not
you
about that.
You got to close with that. Like, if you open with that, where do you go?
That's the problem. I don't know. This is my problem on stage. That's why it's about like body stuff. I have something that I want to tell you because I feel like you'd have an interesting take on this.
Okay.
So there's a 27-year-old that I was having sex with. I no longer am because A, I think I talk about him too much. B, he saw my act, and we haven't slept together since then. Anyways, he told me that he told me this is real. Apparently, he used to work at a place where they did hip transplants, and so he's there one day, he's selling the hip transplants, but they let him watch a surgery, which bizarre. Fine. He's watching the surgery, 80-year-old woman. They can't put her fully under because she might die. Because whatever that is, the anesthesia, they can't come back from it, whatever. Like an old dog, they would die. Okay. So they give her some other stuff, some other medication. She doesn't fully go out. She's out of it. She can't feel the pain, but she's still kind of up and loopy. So apparently what happens is when they wake up, the people doing the surgery go, her eyes are opening. They put on like an alien mask and go, ooh, boop, beep, beep, boo. You're outer space, lady. And she's like, what? I think I'm awake. They're like, no, you're on Mars. Dude, they do a whole fucking act.
Doctors improv with masks.
Yes, they do a whole fucking bit. And then when she wakes up the next day, they like check in, they go in, they're like, so what happened? How was last night? She goes, I thought I woke up at one point and then there's these aliens. So they're doing
There's no fucking way that's true.
I kind of believe it. Don't you think it's real?
No. Just how could you sterilize those fucking rubber masks they got at a joke shop?
That's your concern? Not that they're ruining this poor woman's life. I don't know. I kind of think
they couldn't like sterilize a whole improv troupe to actually have and just charge that back to the health insurance.
It's not a full troupe. It's not like a whole group going. Any suggestions from the old lady? She's like,
I feel like
cats.
I feel like doctors and nurses, more so doctors. I just feel like they're really internal, cerebral introverts. I don't picture them being good at improv.
I don't think they are. That's why I think they're going beep boop because it wasn't.
Yeah, and like when you got somebody filleted, with their hip hanging out, you don't have time to be.
Well, the one doctor, it's only the guy that was doing it. There's like the two other people.
I'll play along. Well, those are some wacky doctors.
I just figured it was
Groucho, one of them.
Yeah. He's got the whole of the nose thing on. He's like, excuse me. I think that'd be a funny thing though if at a full doctors did like an improv troupe. We should get people that don't actually do improv to do improv.
I feel like that's what they would do as like a character building exercise in a corporation. When after they've sucked the soul out of everybody, they then blame them, being like, why are you guys so soulless? We need to have more fun around here as we just grind you down and replace you with AI. Yeah. They like to. It seems like I'm so glad like I never got into that world, but I am also fascinated by it. Like when they decide to pour the shit in the water supply. Like how does that meeting go down? Do they talk around it? Because they are like prolific at coming up with terms to make it not sound like they're doing like when we were like torturing people. What they call enhanced interrogation.
That's what they called it.
That's what they called torturing people.
Oh.
So they always come up with that because they don't want to say
what exactly it is
what they're doing. Yeah, so like you, with you know, I'm sure you had a term for shoving your fucking elbow all the way up somebody's ass.
Making love, Bill.
Oh,
it
is
was
that what you
making
called it?
sweet, passionate love with a man who did bad things to other women afterwards. Maybe I did that. Maybe I made him get me too'd. What if I did?
What's that?
Because that guy I did that to got me too'd afterwards. Maybe I pushed him into it. Oh no.
Maybe you finally made him realize what he was doing to others.
Okay, so then it was the reverse.
That's what it is.
Hey, that's better. Yeah. I'm gonna look at it that way.
You held the mirror up to him.
Yeah. And I was like, look at yourself.
How do you like it?
How do you like it? And he's like, I don't like it. Please, for the love of God, please stop. So have you never had a big surgery or anything?
No, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? Or not? You're like, my penis got removed and I had to get a bigger one. No, I'm kidding.
No, my dick was too big.
That was too.
It was the problem, and you know, I came up during button flies, and you know,
And that's
obviously, you know,
that
I was
is-
wearing tighty whities. It was spillage.
It is
So I took it down, not realizing that the zipper was going to come back, and I regret that.
Yes.
No, I had an appendicitis that turned into a ruptured appendix, and then I almost died. I came within 12 hours of
Oh my
like,
God!
dying.
When was this?
1980.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Full head of hair, huge
Full
cock.
head of hair. Huge prepubescent cock. They were like, how much bigger could it get? Oh, you wait.
This is nothing, son. You got a couple more years.
I will never wear shorts. And I can't wait. I had to wait for the Jordan shorts to come. No. Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, can we get a bit more details on this? This is it. We got to get into.
Yeah,
this.
my parents were from that generation of, oh, you're fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a stomach fly. They would look at your shirt and then diagnose you internally. It's a stomach virus. You'll be fine. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I kept playing baseball and whatever the fuck I was doing.
So it keeled over in severe pain.
I think when it just finally didn't go away, and I was like, you know, the color of that wall, even whiter than I am now, they finally took me in, and then they took an X-ray, and they didn't understand that it was
what it was.
Well, they were looking for an appendicitis, and it just didn't show up because it wasn't there anymore. So I don't know back then with records if they thought I already had it out or whatever. So they didn't know. So my scar is higher up than usual. So they were doing like exploratory surgery, basically. Like, well, it kind of hurts here. Let's cut it open. Yeah, and then it was all just pus.
Oh my God! And then they had to go somewhere else. Just one scar.
No, and then they I don't know what they did. And it's like,
God.
yeah, and I had like, and then they kind of like, when they put you back together, like they don't quite, they kind of slap shit back together. So my abs are a little off kilter, like there's these ones on this side are fine. The other ones are a little, I don't know if that's how it was, but like I definitely had a lot of issues after.
Oh, fuck.
I was 12. Yeah.
Oh shit! And
almost
you're
12.
still growing too.
I was 11. Yeah. So that was that.
Oh fuck! But now it feels fine.
Yeah,
Nothing
it was
else
funny
has
too.
happened
Like
since.
my mother was just like, "Yeah, your father felt bad that he missed that diagnosis," and I would be like, "Well, he's not a doctor.
He's just my dad, and that's that. There it is.
So like, it was kind of outside his area of expertise.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's
no,
younger
it's
big
just
surgery
like-
too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was both. My mother worked at a hospital. She was a nurse.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, but she was just like, you're just going to go down there and they're going to charge you all this money and then give you some pills. You're going to be fine, because that's what happens 99% of the time. It's not like they were bad parents. It was just, you couldn't, like, Google shit.
Yeah.
We had a typewriter and a fucking square TV and a throw rug. Like, there really wasn't any information.
Any info under the rug? No, still just.
Yeah, that's why I am, I can't say I go to the doctor, but I do believe in doctors. I know there's a new movement out there now that people have the internet that I think I might know a little more
than the people who studied this for years.
But then they've also fucked with the trust of the people by putting out all kinds of insane fucking drugs, getting their people in on the FDA and clearing shit that shouldn't be cleared.
And getting people hooked on fucking shit. Now
it is. That's what I always find amazing when it's when when that was in style, which I think it's over now. When they were going after stand-up comedians and they're that, can you believe they said this joke? It's just like, is that worse than working at a drug company and infiltrating the FDA?
Yeah.
And giving people drugs that are are going to fuck them up in the future, but you want that yacht today.
Yeah. And then us were like, what's the deal with trans people? And everyone's like, ew. Even though I've never done a trans
didn't
joke in my
like
life.
that. That was gay. You fucking hate gay people. No, I don't.
I never said anything.
I know.
Yeah.
Gay used to just mean really happy. There was a whole decade called the gay 90s in the late 1800s. Like words change and it's all how you mean something. And if you don't mean anything malicious, by something, like if someone decides to take it that way, I mean, it's so I don't know. It's an easy story. It's an easy story. It's an easy thing for them to go after because they're not risking their money. If they actually went after these other people who advertise on their channel, now, we advertise on your channel. Why are you talking about what we're doing to the water supply? You actually have those as they talk around it. Can you imagine if that's your life? Just people talking around insane shit that they're doing to
Don't
people.
we kind of do this? No. As comics,
Comedians?
I mean, we talk shit about other comedians. I do.
Now, how do you? Well, I have my circle.
Yeah.
Of people that I can vent to about anything. About anything, right? And then, but I don't like these fucking idiots who go out and just like, you got to have that, like at some point. But like, I'm also of the age, like I don't have any hate for anybody. I don't have any anger. I got rid of that. It just takes up too much energy, and I don't have enough time in my life left. I just don't to fucking go around
hating people.
I fucking hate all this fucking.
Did
something good happen to that person? Ooh, I just can't do that. I don't give a fuck. So,
no, it is a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, the solution is to confront the person or cut them out of your life. That's it.
I confront. I'll talk shit and someone will be like, I heard you talk shit about me. I go, I did. Yes. And then they're like, really? I'm like, uh-huh. And they're like, that's upsetting. I'm like, I don't tell you. I did. If I'm going to talk shit, I'm owning it up.
I would say, but when I was your age, like that's where I was. But when you get to my advanced age, I think that like you just
advanced age. You're like 10 years older than me.
No.
Right?
No. Is this your like fucking corporate lawyer over here?
She knows my age and that's it. She's my age person.
Oh.
Everyone knows your age and that's final.
Okay.
I was gonna say they thought I had appendicitis when I was 15, and then my doctor fingered me. This is real. My doctor fingered me. I thought I had a pain, and she put her finger inside me, and she goes, appendicitis. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to tell appendicitis, but she was feeling around in there. Big fingers, huge fingers for a woman. Like there's a microphone.
Man hands.
Mitts. Oh, man hands.
So that's why you do that to the guys you with, because she taught you.
She taught me the bigger the finger, the better, and the more aggressive, the better.
You talk about all this bodily stuff. Did you almost die? What is you afraid of death or something?
No. I just always have something wrong with me. I'm littered in hives every single day. They think it's the vaccine. I have like rashes all the time. I have scars from the sun. I always have something wrong with me. But when I was young, she fingered me. She's like, it's appendicitis. And I was like, I think I have an ovarian cyst. And she's like, no, I'm the doctor. And then I went and they were about to remove it. Like I was in the hospital with IV. The doctor came in. I'm like, please. I'm like a 15-year-old girl being like, just check, please check. I think it's ovarian cyst. And they checked one more time with the thing. And they're like, oh yeah, shit, it's an ovarian cyst. I'm like, you were going to take out my appendix for no reason? Because a woman with big fingers touched the wrong thing. I don't know where the hell she was in there.
Yeah.
With gloves on. I hope she had gloves on. Now that I think about it, I don't know if she had gloves on.
They get a lot of stuff right, though.
Yeah, they do. And hey, I love doctors. I'm not going to knock on doctors.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like all this shit.
No.
Like the people that work in labs to cure diseases, they must like on their coffee break be like, why are we saving these unappreciative fucking assholes?
Why are we slaving
there are
these
too many people on the planet. Like I just like it's somebody not funny telling you how to do a joke is like people not smart or not trained in the area are telling them how to do their fucking job. It has to be maddening, especially when it's something like what we do is silly. What they're doing is actually saving your fucking life. And so you're like, yeah, no. According to my research, it's like, all right.
According to this last Reddit search I did.
According to IagreeWithYou.net, they're saying, this. So,
have you ever self-diagnosed yourself before on Google doing that whole thing where you're like, I have this?
No.
Really?
I don't. I just fucking like
go see a doctor.
Suffer, and then my wife looks at me and is like, "What's wrong with you?" Like that's what I learned.
She's like, go to the fucking doctor.
Appendix ruptures. You keep playing Little League Baseball. Just keep going.
Were you good? Were you still playing?
Come on, run it out.
There's just
running as fast as I can. I'm fucking dying from the inside.
Are you like worried about your kids? Do you take them? They go get checkups, obviously, but still young.
No, I could be better at that. Because I kind of realized like that, you know, there was definitely, you know, just something back in the day. Like, you know, I feel like back in the day you were either that like hypochondriac that anytime your kids sneezed. I remember like I had like neighbors, like their kids would get a cold and they would take them to the hospital. And my whole family would laugh at them. Be like, oh my God.
Point out the window?
Yeah. Like they have got to be the biggest bunch of fucking pussies. Yeah. You just call them the pussies. Hey, the pussies.
You're like 6? The pussies.
It rained today. They're probably calling the fucking Coast Guard fucking pussies. Like, that's how we look. But there had to be like a happy meeting because they were like overly. So I could probably, you know, but my wife is good at that stuff. So that's usually how it works. Like, hopefully in a relationship, the stuff you're bad at, they're good at. And, you know, and you're kind of able to fill in enough of the stuff.
So you're not like, I don't think my parents were like that when I was a kid. When I had the ovarian cyst thing, they were like, just try sleeping sitting up. And I'm like, I don't want to sleep sitting up. I'm in severe pain. Because my dad was like super European. So he'd be like, just eat some garlic. Have some cloves of garlic. I'm like, that's all he did as a kid. He's like, yogurt. He's like, my grandpa lived to 107 off yogurt and garlic. Well, the guy's insides are rotten. I don't know what to tell you.
I got a friend of mine told me, I forget what I had, but she told me to she goes, I know this is going to sound fucked up, but take a raw onion, cut it in half, and then tape it to your foot.
To your foot? Did you do it?
Yeah.
You did it?
Yeah. It's like, all right, I'll do it. And I put a sock on.
Well, you have flu or something? What the hell was wrong with you?
I forget what I had, but I just remember the end result was my room smelled like onions.
That's so... Was this recently? You're like, this is...
Yeah.
Was it? And it went away. You're fine.
I forget what I had. I can't remember what it was.
A white or a red onion?
Oh, no. The red onion's for the elbow. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
I
don't remember.
Raking of onions?
I don't remember, but like, but her shit though is like, it's like she bats about 600, which is amazing.
Okay,
so she seems to have like these old world like remedies where there are some like, you know, there's some sort of honey onion concoction with some. I don't know what the fuck it is. There's always some hot shit in there. Yeah. That whatever the fuck it is.
Some cayenne?
Cayenne, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And you drink that and it kind of helps your immune system or something like that. There's definitely, you know, I guess holistic stuff. That's another word. That's another thing that corporations
don't want you to.
No. That they sort of they adopted that word. You know, take a holistic approach to killing the youth, whatever the fuck they do, you know. They love using, like, I can't do it. Like, I'm actually the writing. I want to be in the corporate writer's room because they always just picture the perfect, like, gross combination of, like, you know, that fake, I give a fuck about you with a really warm word. And it just always just make, like, I always get like, and then I just go like, how do they do that? It's like, it's fucking... Like, it's always like perfectly disgusting. Of course, now I can't think of any of them.
No examples.
No, you know, I was just on a Zoom call about some project or whatever, and I forget. They were talking about circling back as they always do, and then they
love a circle back.
They got to circle back, and then there was something in there. There was some sort of. Like holistic or, you know, farmer to the table.
Farmer to the table.
There's something like that co-opted.
Yeah.
It's like almost like when utilizing your social media assets.
Oh, assets. They love the assets. What's an asset?
Yeah, it's just
I don't know what I'm talking about, an asset.
Yeah, like how they come up with this so disgusting. Like, I always feel like all of their terminology, it should just be spoken by a big fat man who has like an overactive saliva gland, and it's just be like spit like pouring out of, you know, social media assets. He's just rolling around in money. It's so fucking like, and I get it's a business, and I want to make money like anybody else, but it's like, do you have to be like
disgusting about it?
Well, I mean, that's kind of like this whole like writer's strike. It does get to the point of like, just like, how much fucking money do you need to make? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, we have nothing to say without writers.
Yeah. Literally.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, you just fucking break off half of what they're asking for. There's such fucking... Yeah, we're going to circle, but they're
looking at the assets.
Just like... Yeah, like the level of, like, greed. And then they always blame their shareholders. Well, you know, the shareholders, yeah, they're upset you know, with the cost of paying that. But like when the CEO gives himself a $250 million bonus out of shareholder money, for some reason the shareholders are never upset with that. It's just, it really is. It's like legalized stealing, and I was for a while I was fascinated reading like mob books, and what I found was like all of the guys that you know, famous mobsters, are all in the mob world for the most part. They're not looked upon. You know, they're looked upon as like hacks, because if you're really good at it, they never know what your name is, and you're always constantly working your way to legitimizing your dishonest money, and what you're trying to do is cross the line and get to the legal side of stealing, which is corporations, because they do all the shit that organized crime does. It's just the way they do it is legal. So now once it's legal, I don't have to hide my money in the walls. I don't have to drive a car that's less than what I'm fucking making and try to live a lower profile. I can start driving down the street. I grew this company by 18%, therefore I should get a 9-figure bonus. Like those fucking cunts when the banks were failing, those AIG guys, and they fucking still gave themselves a bonus. Where was the fucking outrage as far as like the follow through and any of that?
Yeah.
I'm going deep here.
I know, and I'm
what
like,
about all that fucking Epstein Island shit and all that list? Everybody's like, you know, the list of people who did steroids in baseball. We got to uncover that. Got to uncover that. But a bunch of powerful people that went and go bang 12-year-olds on a fucking island. You know, it just kind of fades away.
Yeah, he's fine. He did good stuff. Minus the 12-year-olds.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had a ruptured appendix.
I was gonna say, did you know that a lot of mobsters threw bodies into Lake Tahoe? Someone told me this in Lake Tahoe, that they would put cement blocks, and because the water was so fresh and clean, the bodies would stay for years, and like divers would go down years later and find like old people.
Well, it's probably. I think it's more the temperature.
Is that what it is? It's whatever the temperature. It's like
like they
kept
always
them
say,
like intact.
Like Lake Michigan doesn't give up or dead, because what happens is when you die, there's this bacteria in you from the day you're born in your gut that it activates when you die, and that's what makes you decompose, and you become part of the earth again. You become a fossil fuel for a spaceship in the future, right? So when
for Epstein to fly his ship,
for him to come and
have sex with a kid,
fuck your dead asshole. Yeah. So when you're in water that's cold enough, like that doesn't happen. So that's why, like, whenever like these people kill people, they always find a headless torso, because what you got to do is you got to gut them. You got to gut them, and you got to cut up all the guts and blah, blah, blah. I learned this reading this.
Like, where did you learn this?
Reading this book called The Westies.
Okay.
So they used to have this thing. They didn't call themselves the Westies. That's what the paper called them, whatever. There was an Irish gang in Hell's Kitchen, which is now called Clinton, because in the real estate people, they always got to give it a new sexy name, right? It's Clinton, right? So they used to fucking, they would. That was their thing. Like they called it the Houdini. Like you just disappeared, and one day somebody got sloppy and they found like the headless torso, and they were like, "What the fuck, dude? You gotta gut him. You gotta gut him." Yeah, God. Dude, they were maniacs. They you know what's the funniest? This is actually some funny shit. They killed a guy and they kept his hand and they put it in the freezer, and then when they would commit a murder, they take the hand out and they put the fingerprints on the gun.
So funny.
And leave it there. It's just
that's smart.
It is. It's so fucking evil, and it's just like what I love about that is the gallows humor that they must have been doing when they were doing that shit.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, look who did it again.
Yeah, he did it again. This guy, we're gonna make this guy a fucking legend.
Would they have to defrost the hand for the prints to be proper?
That's what I wondered.
Because I'm like, frozen, I feel like it wouldn't go on there enough. That's even weird. Can you imagine coming over to someone's house and like, hey, what's your dinner?
No,
ignore the hand on the table.
Do you know, like when you're making something and you need room temperature milk and you don't have it, so you put it in the microwave for a second to take the chill off? You just take the chill off the
beside the milk. Hold on a second. Let me get the baby's milk out of here. That'd be so gross. How do they? Okay, that's fine. Okay, one of my favorite questions, and I feel like you might have a good answer. What is the worst body thing you've ever heard?
Well, give me an example of worst body.
My example is, there's one example is where my dad told me that a guy used to wrap himself in saran wrap and go into a porta potty and watch women piss and shit on him. That's one. Another one was my friend's a nurse. And
that's more of a sexual thing than a body thing.
Okay, but the other one was my friend was trained to be a nurse, and a guy got hit in the penis with a baseball, and he tourniqueted himself so hard and tight that he killed it, and he was like 22 or 23, and she had to be like, we have to remove your penis. And there's been like somebody last week said they like
real.
That is real.
That is not
real.
real.
100% real. She literally trained to be a nurse. She's real.
He was bleeding so bad.
He wasn't bleeding. It got hit, and it like nudged it in or something. Like it bruised it, and then he was like, "Fuck, what do I do?" So he just like thought he would like tourniquet it for the pain or something.
What if his dick went into his body?
I don't know.
Which isn't even possible.
I don't think it went in.
How could you tourniquet?
I don't think it went in. It just like the ball hit it directly on the tip of the penis. I think it just hit it so fast and hard.
Did it break the skin? Was he bleeding? Why would he put a tourniquet on it?
Because the guy's an idiot. Why would you go to the doctor if your fucking penis was swollen and weird?
So he put a Three Stooges headband.
Yes. And then he went, "Grr," after he put it on. He for sure did something. He's like, you know the thing with the penis with the eyes? He's like, "Rrr." I don't know.
It's not true. He's 28 years old.
No, it's like 23. He was young. Maybe even younger. 21.
Oh, 23 makes it believable.
Okay, well, yeah.
I would have tourniqueted my dick for the first quarter century.
Yeah, for the first quarter century.
You gotta watch it. You know, the brain
again,
doesn't fully
huge.
develop until 25.
Again, massive. So it would have been a lot of
Why the fuck
for
do
you.
I top that story? The guy
there's
fucking
more-
put a
some-
Civil War bandage on his cock and they had to cut it off?
I don't mean with you personally. Like, what's something you heard, or your mom must have told you a horror story from her being a nurse or something?
No, my grandmother was that person. My grandmother was on my dad's side was the one time there was this guy and she would just tell these fucking horrible stories. And then I'm going up to my mother going like, "Hey mom, do you know one time there was a guy and he was coming up to a stoplight and he waited too long. So he stomped on the brakes and he stomped on the brakes so hard that his leg went up into his body and it was uneven and he walked like that for the rest of his life." And she was like, "Who told you that?" I was like, "Grandma did." She goes, "You don't listen to him. Don't listen to her." Right? And I knew right then, I was like, "Oh, she's
Grandma's
fucking crazy."
yeah.
And I was just, and that was like this watershed moment that I never realized that it was just like, you know, I went from thinking that adults knew everything to be like, oh, they can be fucked up, huh?
They don't
And
know
I
shit.
found it like fascinating.
Yeah.
So
That's so funny.
yeah, and she was right too. Yeah, she was fucking nuts.
But like something you've never heard, like you've never like read something on the internet where you're like, "What the fuck is this? This is psychotic and gross."
My thing is more getting killed by animals. Is like a thing.
That's
like
your fear.
yeah, like my fear is not being able to outrun a Komodo dragon, which are surprisingly fast. You know, whatever. You decide you're
Okay,
going to do
yeah.
that fucking
Okay.
white vacation.
Okay.
Let's go to the Galapagos Islands. Mm-hmm. You wander away from the tour guide because there's always one of those people that does it.
Not a toucan. Oh.
Yeah, and it goes
well,
up,
okay.
and then the worst thing is they bite you, and their saliva is full of this fucking bacteria. And the second they bite you, you're going to die. And then what they
No.
do is they just follow you around for like 3 days with their fucking tongue. And they just wait for you to slowly die. They don't wait till you're dead, though, because they're reptiles. They have no feelings.
goodness.
And then they just sort of come up to you, and they always go right for the gut. And then they just start eating you. You think that old woman waking up with the fucking rubber mask was bad. Yeah, they just, dude, it's like them and bears. Bears are another one.
Bears are bad.
Bears are dumb. They have the ability to kill you before they start eating you, and they don't. They just fucking, they maul
play
you.
with you,
They-
yeah.
No, they maul you, and they just start, it's just like, dude, just break. Like, that's why, like, if I ever had to get killed by an animal, it would be one of those super fucking, like, cats, you know, a panther, a fucking jaguar, a lion, tiger. Dude,
That's
you're going to be like that guy in Vegas. That fucking thing grabbed him by the neck, and within 2 seconds, he was just like that and walked off. I can fucking handle that all day long. Komodo dragon, bear, sharks.
Shark.
Let me come up and take a bite out of you to see if you're edible. That tastes pretty good. Let me come back. And then the whole fear of like how it's underneath.
Yeah, no.
It's like being in the jungle with your head in the ground as a lion's coming up to you, fucking taking bites out of your ass, right? Like I am like terrified of the ocean. So I don't.
You don't swim in the ocean then? Never go there?
No.
No way.
I did last year. I saw this old guy. I was staying with my family right on the beach, right? So like, I watched this old guy
California?
every day. No, it was back east. Yeah. This guy would get into the cold water and he would swim out to this buoy and come back. He did it every day. And I just told Nia, I go, I'm fucking doing that. I got to get over this shit. And I went out there and I did it and I came back and I just kept thinking the whole time, the amount of times that I've done stand-up bits on TV saying how fucking stupid it is to swim in the ocean. If I get eaten by a shark right now, there is not going to be one person they might feel bad, but everybody's going to make a joke like, how wild is that?
Yeah.
I guess facing your fears isn't the right thing to do, laughing my ass off. Do you know the one thing I fucking can't stand about all those nature videos that I watch? Whenever you're watching something, it's really horrifying. There's always somebody that has to be like, I know this is hard to look at, but this is nature. like there's some sort of ape boy, that grew up. Like, you're gonna help walk me through this, and you can. It's just this thing where like I just love those people. They make everything is about themselves. Even a fucking bear eating a deer that's still alive, or a fucking moose. They have to I know I'm the only. I know this is upsetting to you, but I can handle this.
This is
because
how
I have
the
some
world
camouflage clothing.
No, I saw.
It's like, dude, you would piss and shit yourself if that bear came at you.
Oh, you'd
the
fucking lose
same
your
way
mind.
I would.
Yeah.
So stop it with your deer urine cologne and your little tree fort as you fucking sit up there glamping.
Yeah, you're
killing
also
these fucking-
you're in a fucking full truck. You're not. No one's actually in a goddamn tent watching these fucking animals. You're a
Here's
mile
one for you.
away.
There was this fucking. There was this safari these people were on, and this woman, for whatever reason, wanted to switch places with the driver, and she fucking got out and walked around. And I'm telling you, this lion or tiger came up and sort of did like this, like, what the fuck is it? And when I tell you, like, cartoon level speed, she exited the frame. It was just fucking. And then it was a mom, and their son got out of the back, like, unbelievable, and ran over there, and he's the one who got killed.
No.
I mean, Jesus Christ. What a fucking son, huh?
What the heck? Would it save her?
You think a Mother's Day card handles it? I don't think so.
Wow, he
It
loved his
was-
mom that, but then the mom lived?
Dude, that kid ran over there with like
Doing what? What's he gonna do? Punched the...
He took the hit.
Oh my
He
God.
saved his mother or his sister. It was fucking unbelievable. It was absolutely terrifying and also astoundingly stupid.
Why are you leaving? Why would the driver let him leave the fucking car? That's the one thing. You're in a safari. You're like, number
Why
one
does
rule,
everybody
sit
in
down.
LA not know that when you turn into another lane to get your whole car into the lane, where they're just so self-involved, like, well, I'm in the lane and that bottom third, the brake light and everything, and the people can't get around? Why do people on bicycles feel like every street now is a bike lane, even if there isn't a bike lane, and they ride right down the street with 20 cars behind them, driving like it's a funeral, with no concern of how late they're making them? I get it. Your bike, I'll share the road with you, but I'm behind you. Fucking get over. They won't do it. No. It's the people that dress like they're in a bike race. They're the bad ones. But like the convicted drunk drivers, you know, wearing a fucking dad leather jacket and blue jeans, they get over. They ride up on the sidewalk and scare old people like you're supposed to.
And they're signaling too. It's the no signaling for me in the city that's really grinding my fucking ass. Like, well, you can't. It's not
I
so
actually
hard.
saw a guy on a bicycle. It was a four-way stop. Stopped at the
On a
stoplight,
bike.
and I was just like, "Oh my god,
Guy's a fucking loser.
he's not a
Can you
loser."
imagine a full stop on a bicycle?
Full stop. He wasn't. You know what he is? He's a good person. He's an empathetic. The hardest emotion for a human being, empathy. This isn't affecting me, but it's affecting you, and I'm going to listen to what you're saying and actually understand your fucking pain.
Okay. Well, look at that.
The fuck did you say?
I think you're an empath.
You're an empath.
I know, but you can't. I'm not an empath. I don't just walk around feeling bad for people. No, if you deserve it. Yeah, if you deserve it.
Okay,
Like I always tell, I had a friend of mine, you know, really nice person. I said, listen, you have to let people earn how nice you are. Stop giving it away. There's a reason why every weekend you're helping somebody move. Okay, people are taking advantage
It wasn't a
of
bad back at that point.
I'm
It's
just
a lot of
saying, it was
lifting.
always just
Jesus.
forever like, oh yeah, I'm doing this for this person. It's like, what are they doing for you?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, you know, I don't know. I felt bad. And I was like, if you're a really nice person, you got to watch out because you are going to attract absolute psychos because you're the only type of personality that will deal with their bullshit. So that's why when you see,
they take advantage
like that, you see
easily.
couples, you'll just see somebody just ridiculously nice and warm with just living with a fucking human reptile, and you're like, how the fuck does that work?
I think I just did that. I just got out of that.
What are you talking about? You're fucking raping people with your fingers.
Before that.
I'm an empath.
Before that. I'm not an empath. I never said I was. I think I'm a piece of shit. No, I'm nice. I was going to say also on the bear thing, I watched, did you watch Grizzly Man?
Yeah, I mean, that
Grizzly
was
sucked.
You want to talk about empathy?
That
I had empathy for that guy. It was just like
I did not. He's living with bears.
No, but that's not what it was about. It's about society not accepting homosexuals.
That's
So
what
he was that far into the closet. That was what it was. You remember he was
that
going like,
whole point.
I don't know, just I like pussy. It's just how it is. I like pussy.
Did I?
He literally
not watch
sounded
the
like
same
fucking
thing?
Rip Torn, not Rip Torn, Rip Taylor. He was doing everything but throwing confetti out of the thing. It's just like, dude, just get back into society and be gay. Get away from these fucking bears.
I gotta rewatch it then. I don't know what the fuck I watched. I missed that whole thing. I thought he had a woman there.
That Free Solo, that was all about toxic relationships.
What's Free Solo? I don't see.
Free Solos, that was a guy who fucking climbed. Never fell in his fucking life. He gets into this goddamn relationship, and it's just, she just.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's falling left and right.
You heard her nagging in the background.
Yeah.
You're gonna fall one of these. You should really have a rope.
And no one ever said it to him before. I watched.
When are you gonna get me a ring? What? Oh, my back!
that bitch?
And then doesn't own it. Well, you should have used the rope.
Yeah, goes to the funeral. I told him to use a rope. He didn't
Told him to use a rope.
I didn't use one. No, I
just
saw.
wish you would share climbing with me.
Do you climb with your
Why
wife?
can't it be free together? Why does it have to be free solo?
Have you ever climbed?
You
You're
like
not a
those
climber.
rocks more than you like me. Do I climb?
Yeah, have you ever climbed?
I used to. I didn't climb rocks, but I was big on grip strength.
Really?
I love anything. I used to have like those fucking holds in the garage, go around the fucking garage like a goddamn monkey.
I cannot picture you. Just the leather jacket and short shorts. You just dangling on the thing.
Giant fictitious cock hanging
Yeah,
out.
giant schlong.
I used to hang
an
from
old
a-
sub.
Yeah.
Just a full fucking cold cut trio hanging out of the bottom of your fucking pants. The bear thing. I watched a documentary.
Salami and meatballs.
This is this guy.
On a fucking hoagie.
I watched a documentary. I'm getting this out before. With this bear who mauled a guy, but he played with him for like an hour and a half. And he just like held his head in his hands like a ball. And he said he played dead and he lived. He said his friend tried to fight back and died. And he lived, and his whole head, scab. Like his entire, like he had no hair, his hair never grew back. And he was like, and he looked horrible. I was like, if I look like that, the bear should have taken me into the woods and had its way with me, because I don't want to look scary. Yeah. Like it was like, his eye was all fucked, like dangling over.
Could he get like a hair system?
A hair system. It's called a wig. He's called some glue.
Oh, is that what he did? He glued it.
He'd have to do something, because there's no hairs wouldn't go through that again. Like picture when you get a little scab, it was like a whole, his entire head was a scab. Like it wasn't. No, you have to get a hair wig, eyebrow wigs.
It ate his hair.
It ate his whole. He just ripped his head.
Maybe that's what saved his life. He had a mullet.
Yeah.
He had a mullet, and the thing was coughing like a cat, and finally had to go down to the lake.
So I'd be good.
You would be good.
Okay, good. I'd be good.
I would be fucked. No, but I wouldn't. I remember one time, a long time ago, I worked with this comedian in Appleton, Wisconsin. And he told me that he had some land up there because he was from there. And we went out to the land, and we got out of the fucking car. And I looked down, and I saw these tracks. I said, "What are those?" He goes, "Oh, those are bear tracks." I go, "I'm getting back in the car." And he goes, "No, it's fine." He goes, "They're black bears. They're like afraid." I was like, "Yeah, get back in the car." Get back in the car. And he kept walking, and I fucking walked with him like an asshole. And I was just like, this is and the whole time, everything in my was going, this is the stupidest fucking, this is fucking stupid. And then also he understood the woods, so I was going to be the one getting killed.
Yeah, big time. But well,
I would have got killed, and he would have been headlining that night saying, I don't know, I didn't hear from him all day.
Yeah, he still would have done the show. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
That'd be funny if that was his way to headline.
Yeah. He's like, I always bring my the headliners to the woods.
Do you know what's funny? He was such a good dude. He was, and he was a newer comic. So, there used to be this game that I saw these guys play when I first started out in comedy, and I just amazed me when they did it. It was like you had to go up there and make the crowd hate you. And then without addressing that you did that, you then had to try to win them back. So you had to deliberately gross them out or offend them or whatever, and then you had to try to see if you could get them back. Like, that's what they would do. And I just remember, like, when I was a young comic, I couldn't believe it, because the whole thing was like, I have to get these people. Like, bombing was so scary, and these guys were doing it on purpose. It was fucking hilarious. So I was playing that game with him. I go, all right, we'll go up there. And like, he went up there, and he said, he just started talking about how fat everybody was. but he didn't do. There was no joke. He goes, "You can see this? Yeah, it's called a fucking sit-up. Why don't you guys try this?" I forget what it was, and they fucking hated him. And oh my God, and he never broke. He fucking went into his act, and every punchline they wouldn't laugh, and then I was dying, and he just kept looking up at the ceiling, but he never said, "Bill Burr told me to fucking do it." That was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, he never got back.
Never got, no, never. I mean, towards the end, but like the level of respect that I had for him, because
for eating shit but holding it.
He just fucking categorically was refused. He was just like, "I agreed to this. I am gonna see this fucking through," and.
It is fun to do that though. When you sometimes I do jokes that are so fucking bad, I know they are, and then losing them completely, like the butt raping joke. Turns out people don't love that, but I keep doing it, and then getting them back again at the end and killing after that. It feels like a huge accomplishment.
Do you know the other day I went to the store on the wrong night, and I come walking in, and the host just goes, "Uh-oh," and I go, "What?" She goes, "You were supposed to be here tomorrow night." I said, "All right, whatever. Who gives a fuck? I'm just popping in. I'll do this thing." They go, "Okay, it's a benefit though." I'm like, "All right." They go, "It's for battered women." Da-da-da. And I said, "All right, I know how to work around that, right?" And then they left, and then somebody in there said, "I think they're gay too, like gay bad." I'm like, "Wow, this is really specific."
Very specific.
Yeah, very woke benefit here for gay battered women. So I'm like, "All right." So I go out there, so I just keep making references to getting beaten. You guys, I didn't get shook like you guys did, but I just was being an asshole and whatever. I just kept making these references to getting beaten, right? And then finally they figured it out, and somebody in the back goes, like I'm towards the end of my set, they just go, "We're not battered. We're alcoholics."
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know what I heard. And then I said, "Oh," I was like, you guys are drunks? All right, these are my people." And then they all laughed. And I was like, "Holy shit." I go, I've had problem with alcohol, and then I just was like, I'm not like you guys. I wasn't like running out of it and sucking dick for it. I mean, but they loved it though. But like, I sat there. I remember they must have just, I felt so stupid. Like they must have been up there for 20 minutes. Like, why does is this guy
very specific?
Is he hitting his wife or something? Is he trying to like tell on himself here? Like, what's going on?
Keeps bringing it up.
Yeah. But that is fun to do that.
You haven't bombed in a while, have you? I had an epic bomb pretty recently.
No,
When was your last bomb? Honestly, the one that you can actually remember and that felt like a
No, it was recent. And it isn't like bombing, because once people know who you are, they're just like, "Oh, I love it. I saw him do a joke that didn't work." Where before that, people just like, "Who the fuck is this asshole?" So it's easier now. I was a better comic as far as like, I had a tougher skin when, I had to get them.
Yeah.
So then once people know who you are, then all it is don't lose them. But like, it's been a long time since I had to go in somewhere and try to get them. But still, I was doing like, I've been bombing with this idea for weeks now, meaning it just hasn't worked. And the first night I did it, I riffed it and it killed.
I fucking hate that. And you didn't write down, you didn't fucking record it, and you can't say it the right way again.
I never record myself because I never listen to it.
Okay.
And it just fills up my phone, and then I can't delete these now. They're part of my stand-up history. I'm just going to stop. It reminds me a long time ago, I knew this person that like just categorically refused to take leftovers from a restaurant. I'm not taking them. I go, "Why not?" He goes, "Because I'm not going to eat it. It's going to go in my fridge, and it's just going to fucking go bad. And I don't give a fuck." It's like, dude, this is like a fucking,
full steak
and lobster tail. I don't give a fuck. It's just going to sit in there, and it's going to smell like the ocean, and I'm just not going to do it. So I kind of did that with recording myself. It's like, I'm not fucking doing it. And if it was just that one time that it came out great, guess what? I'll come up with something else instead.
But it drives me. But I feel like, when you're a celeb, it's hard for you guys to bomb.
Person of interest.
That's what you want to refer to yourself as. Okay,
Yeah, because I feel like a celebrity is somebody that's beautiful and they're inspiring people.
You don't think you're inspiring people?
Hey man, it's Tuesday. You got to get up there and get your workout.
You are a celebrity. You the amount of comedians you've inspired, it's skyrocketing.
Yeah, but for a good purpose.
Yes, well, not all of them. There's a lot of. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you, my dad, after the Toronto show,
which you killed,
but that was very fucking fun.
Walked out in an arena like it was a little comedy club. You fucking owned it.
I actually jogged out. Every time I jog, I don't know why you bring a jog out of me. I'll never forget when I got the Netflix.
Yeah, you did it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Hi, please welcome Steph Tolev, right? And you come jogging out, and you would just walk by me. You go, I don't know why I'm running. And you just go up to him, and I remember thinking, she's gonna kill.
I don't know why I was running.
She is in the perfect, goofy. I don't give a fuck, but I do. But I'm not gonna give into that. Yeah, and there's also like, and that was
why I ran.
I know why you were running, because it's a pressure gig.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
So I like how you handle pressure. Is you don't let it consume you. You actually get sillier, and silly is contagious. I love silly, so silly is contagious. So I was already laughing before you even went up to the mic.
Well, because I wasn't. I was fucking shitting myself.
Yeah, that's why you were running. I knew why you were running.
Big jog. But yeah, my dad messaged you. Well, thought he messaged you after the show. He's like, I talked to Bill Burr on Instagram today. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, I sent him a DM. He replied. So I'm like, what do you? My dad sends this big heartfelt thing. Thank you so much for making my blah, 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 this whole fucking thing. And then it's clearly a fake account.
Yes.
You're welcome, the guy says. So there's some asshole out there.
Well, at least he's being nice.
I know. I'm like, there's somebody who's not fucking you. But my dad telling all his friends, screenshots it, sending it to all his buddies. Me and Bill are talking. It's not Bill. It's like, it didn't even look like you. It was like
I also love
insane.
that he wrote like the Gettysburg Address. He did all right. That's right. You're welcome.
But like my dad legit thought you were like, I'm like Bill ever looks at a fucking DM from a man who wears cutoff sweatpants shorts all year round. Like there's no way he was insane.
I don't read comments, and I don't read any of that shit. I just don't. I don't because.
Well, you don't need to.
No, well, you kind of got to know. Like, let's do it. When I put out a special, I just take a temperature. All right, I did about 15 positive, 1 bad. I can deal with that. That's great. That's good enough. And then that's it. I don't want to sit there and read a bunch of compliments, and I certainly don't want to read a bunch of people going, oh, the last one was funny. This guy was funny. You know, like people say all the time. And once you got all woke. Woke. These all these dumbass people, like to them, I love how woke is just means whatever you want now. It just basically means you don't see the world that I do, like the way I do. You know what I mean? Like literally when we were complaining about people on bikes, you know, not sharing the road, like, so, oh, is this some woke shit?
Yeah, they own the fucking roads now. Would they donate to the road? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's an astounding level of lack of information.
I want to get to that point.
That informs people's opinions. I'm not exonerating myself from that because the more I fucking read up on shit, I'm like, wow, I thought that was completely the other fucking way, and it's this way, and just I don't know. I know I'm an idiot, but I am open to new information, and I really don't. I'm at a point in my life I just don't have patience or the time to be around people that are just like, you know, I have all the answers and there's no new information I can listen to. And it's just like, all right, okay, you sound like a fascinating person to be around.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on, please. Some more, please.
You know, I was thinking the other day, like a silly joke. I was taking mushrooms, right? I was having a great fucking time. The clouds all turned into pirates, and I was just waving at them. These evil pirates, just waving to my demons. It was funny. My wife goes, "What were you waving at?" I got my demons.
Did she just watch you trip out, just going, "What the fuck is this?"
No, she was doing them too. We had a great time. We had a great time, and we've never been closer. It was fucking, you know, laughing, crying, hugging each other. It was fucking awesome.
Aww.
So, you know, at one point. You know, it's really coming on, and she was just like, I need some covers, and she just goes, "BB." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "I have to ask the universe a question." And I'm like, "Well, go ahead. You know, it's your universe too. Ask the question, right?" And then I was thinking, you know, this, you know, for some reason I started thinking like, you know, how healing these things are. A few times I've done, and I was thinking like, you know, like there's a few people, you know, that I know that are like narcissists, and it's really painful. Because I love them, and you cannot help a narcissist. You just can't help them. They can't see it, and even if you call them on what they did right in the act, I feel like they just go into no, and then they immediately re-edit the footage in their head, and then it's locked like a movie, and then that memory is what happened. Like they could pass a lie detector test.
Yeah.
So now it's like they're not even lying anymore. And so I was thinking like, man, maybe like mushrooms would help a narcissist, right? And she just said she wanted to ask the universe a question. So I started thinking about a narcissist, like what question would they ask the universe? And the answer in my head was, what do you want to know? Like, that, like that's what
Yeah, they're
like
that
they would look
fucking
at
up their own ass.
Like,
Yeah,
what do you want to know? What would you like? Me,
Yeah.
like they would be. I'm going to explain to the universe the
thing that,
So-
that you're supposed to be giving
Yeah,
out.
so that's a thing in my life that I kind of, I cut that out. Like whenever I get the narcissism vibes,
No,
I'm
ta-ta.
just see, yeah, and it took me, up until about a couple years ago where I just started. But it's a great thing to get out of it because it's just you're just signing yourself up for never-ending frustration and no accountability.
No, and you're not getting anything back from this person.
Yeah.
Narcissists are never that fun.
Having a heart-to-heart with a narcissist is just hilarious. Where you just sit there, listen, I did this and I did this and I did that, so I'm sorry, and then they go, okay, thank you,
Thank you so much.
and then you're just like, and they're like, and nothing,
No, nothing.
and nothing, unless you
No.
have more stuff to confess to me because I am the alpha, the omega, I am the sun.
I am the sun. I am the universe.
I am the sun.
You are all around me. I am the
Yes.
sun.
The universe exists because they want to watch me.
Because I am the universe. I give off all the energy.
Yeah.
I was going to ask my final question, but you kind of already answered it. What the funniest way that you could die is?
The funniest way that you could die?
You personally. Well, you kind of answered it with your swimming thing, but I feel like
I guess if you were making fun of the Olympics and you were imitating the hammer throw and you so committed to it that you spun yourself around and the stage was high enough that you threw yourself off the stage and broke your neck and just
wow. Oh, keep going.
But no, but then because there would be that moment where people would be like, wow, he really fucking committed to that. He's not moving. Like he's getting every inch out of this fucking laugh. You know? And then they felt, oh no, wait, no, he just hurled himself to his own death.
And everyone's like clapping and oh God.
Like you ever do back when I used to do stand up in Boston, like Chinese restaurants and stand up comedy was this perfect marriage of things like Chinese restaurants are as big a part of the history of Boston comedy scene as the comedians that started doing stand up. And there used to be this room in Brockton, Massachusetts, and I do not know why. It had the highest, smallest fucking stage. The stage was this square that was big enough for you to go like from here to here, and it was literally you could like if you fell off the wrong fucking way,
you die.
Like you like when they would bring you up. Do you remember back in the day, like, you see those pictures when people would get on an airplane and that truck would drive up to it and you walked up all of those stairs? I mean, it literally should have said like TWA on it as you walked all the way up there. And I used to think like, do these people realize that if I, because I was really nervous, so I'd jump around and move around a lot. And I had to really be conscious of where it was. And I was still, I didn't really drink before I went on stage though, but I just think that would be funny to fall to your death.
Yeah. I feel like I can easily see me doing that too.
He died
with
doing
my
what he
act.
loved, and you wouldn't be a cliche. No, he did.
Me doing a deep squat and then my knees just give out and then my ass falls out or something.
And you just bleed out.
Just bleed out. I'm like, it's not a bit. She said she's really committing this time. I want to get you. Have you ever heard caber toss?
There was a guy real quick. There was a comedian. There is Tony V. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time, and he helped me out so much back in Boston. He used to have a big weight problem. He was a big guy. And he used to open with, he goes, okay, before I get started, he goes, if any point during this, this performance, I have a heart attack, I'm not faking it. I am not, something like that. I am
like,
not. This is not part of my act. If you see me looking like I'm having a heart attack, I'm not doing that Fred Sanford thing. I am having a heart attack. Call for help.
Call 911 for the love of God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say caber toss because you know what that is? The Scottish. They toss a caber and they flip.
Fucking log up over their head.
Like, that would be a funny thing if you like got caught on it and then you flipped yourself over, kind of like the.
Or if you went to throw it and the angle was wrong, and then when you looked up, it was coming down,
right, and then just
drove your head into your body like that guy's dick that he tourniqueted.
Yeah.
Tourniqueted? Is that a word?
Tourniqueted. Look, you've said a lot of big words in this podcast, and I've nodded to a lot of them because I didn't know what you were saying. Thank you for doing this, Bill. I know you gotta go. You gotta go.
No.
And I feel,
all right. Well, thank you. You're an inspiration to me too. I think you're a fucking amazing comedian.
Thank you.
And
too nice.
You've never been more adorable than when I compliment you, and you look down all shy.
Because I don't know how to take
and
compliments.
You know what I see? I see the adorable little girl that you were.
Oh, I never was.
Why your dad loves you. All right.
No,
thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you for having me. All right.
God damn it.
That was
Adorable little girl. Yeah, right. Wait, I'm getting